Here's
now
the
this great looking bunch here. This is the
quick identifying.
Okay, Grandpa Cyril, Aunt Kathy, Grandma. She had her hair done that day, I think. That idiot in the back is Uncle John. A year and a half there, so I guess about Christmas of '62. That was John's space helmet, but I think that's Kathy inside. Mick's trying to help her there.
This is in, there's Betty Lou, little Lizzie Lou, with some dumb thing she's blowing up.
That was a bagpipe. It broke about an hour after she got it for Christmas, and Grandma was real thankful.
And there's Crazy John, that's Kathy there. This would be a little bit later. This is 63 or 64,
No.
I'd say.
No, the girls are about a year and a half here, and there they are.
Okay.
So that's Christmas of '62.
And this is in the kitchen at 350 West 5th Street in Jasper for historians, and there's Cy. Grandpa.
There's Cy. He'd been celebrating Christmas Eve a little early that day, and when he got home, he was real playful. Watch this.
Now be careful. He may be watching this too, so be careful what you say. Here he is with one of his granddaughters and his daughter. So that's Kathy and Joni.
That twist was all the rage. All these kids do this.
That's on the kitchen table, kids, in the kitchen out in your Grandma and Grandpa Birge's. It's hard to believe, Kathy. Now look at
Now,
this. He's got a new hairdo that day.
Take a look at this. Your favorite uncle, Bob. Swift Bob there. Smooth, they started calling him about this time.
Kind of shy and didn't know what to do. Look at him. Nice looking kid, isn't he?
He's like a pumpkin with handles on it.
And I think we got some of the other aunts and uncles on this. We ran up from Channel 7. We ran up to Jasper that particular night for Christmas.
Look quick, you'll see John.
Okay, and there's Mick. He got up on the table. That was a red vest, wasn't it?
I think so. He was real slick. There's Grandma, much younger looking.
Well,
and in the background there, in the big coat that belonged to Buddy Schiller, is your Uncle Jim. Give us a smile, Jim.
He's always been shy, too, in front of a camera. There he is. Hi, Jimmy. That's your famous uncle that's in Los Angeles now and the movie.
Still waiting for his big break in show business.
And there's the prettiest of all the Birge girls. That's Betty Lou. Ow! See, she got along so well with her brothers. Start talking.
Okay, this is Easter of '63. I am pregnant, but not very far along, of course, with Marlene and Marilyn. There's your handsome Uncle Jim, all slicked up. There's Mick. There's Joe and your Aunt Jane. There's Kathy, and the two dudes with the hats, of course, are John and Bob. And you got to check out what John does with this hat. I think you remember from seeing this before. That's one of the. What were those kids next door? Summertime boys. I don't know which one. They lived next door to Grandma and Grandpa for years. But there's the whole gang, Kathy and
John and Bob and Betty.
With all their nieces and nephews.
Joni.
Yeah.
Now watch this.
Watch John now. John pulls
Look
a real.
Look at Bob's faces.
Yeah.
Now watch John. He really looks slick. That'll be coming up a little bit later. This is Jane. She looks pretty good there.
Yeah.
And that's Joe.
Yeah, and she had bought Joe that outfit. She was real proud that he was wearing it that day.
When she is godmother?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so look how slicked up Mick is.
Yeah,
look at Betty Lou's nice hairdo and those flowers in her head. And of course John horsing around. You know, we couldn't run that camera any time with Bob and John without them hamming it up a little bit. But there's Betty with Kathy, and that's Kathy.
Yeah.
Boy, she's grown up too.
Look at the white hair on these
You can
kids.
see a little Gina in her.
Yeah.
And look at that. And Joni. And there he is. That's your famous Uncle John. And Mick and
Watch
Joe with
Bob's
their two uncles.
expressions. Bob can make the dumbest faces.
Well, Bob's kind of weird to begin with. There's Bob. Look at him. God. Here he goes.
There's John.
There's John. And Joe. And just watch ahead, and all of you kids will know what we're going to be talking about with Joe. And there he is sticking his fingers in his mouth, and watch him with Grandpa Birge here. He kept sticking his fingers in his mouth, so watch what Grandpa does. He sits on his arm. Boy, Dad looks good there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And so does Mom. Look at her. What year is this?
This is Easter of 1963.
So that was, what, 24 years ago, and they were 72, so they were only 40. 8 years old or so.
Yeah.
They were about our age that we
Yeah.
are right now.
Yeah.
Oh boy, time flies. This is, of course, I'm sure you all recognize where this is all shot, is on the front porch at 350 West 5th Street. Oh, look at this. Now this really jumps ahead. The twins are on this.
Yeah. This, I think, is their first birthday.
That's
I'm pretty
Grandma
sure.
and Grandpa Burge. That was Jim and Jeanette
Betty.
in the background. Betty. Here's your teetotaling uncle,
John.
John. That's in his younger day, and there they
Yeah.
are. Which is which?
I wouldn't have a clue.
Let's see, the pretty one there, I think that's Marlene.
God only knows.
Funny looking
I
one, that's
can't
Marilyn.
tell which one's funnier looking than the other.
And there's
There's
Kathy, babysitting for the twins.
Yeah.
She's really grown up, so this has jumped quite a few years.
Yeah, and there's
What's
their
that
cake.
chunk out of the cake there?
Well, Kathy dug into it on the way down from Jasper. Grandma baked the cake. There they are. They look like they belong on a poster for Ethiopian relief.
Okay, there's John kicking the football. That's punt. Punt. That's Betty.
There's pass.
Pass. That's Bob and Mick. And kick. And that's some kid. There's a buddy of a guy I worked with, and that's a neighbor girl. Which one of them? Debbie?
Oh, that was Donna Wade.
Donna?
No, Debbie. That's
That was
right.
Debbie. And what we did with this was punt, pass, and kick, and this was used on the air. I gave a little promo to show the days of television, how bad TV was back in those days. But to promote the JC's punt, pass, and kick contest, or whoever sponsored it, this is what I used. And we said, okay, you got to punt, pass, and kick.
The most natural-looking athlete in the bunch is Betty.
Punt, pass, and kick. And then there's, and this is Joe, and who's the little girl?
It's Kathy. Rock and stuffed it up there.
Oh, this is priceless stuff. This is Bob's first communion. Why don't you give the identification, sir?
Okay, well, that's John.
Got dressed up for the occasion.
That's John, of course, and Joe. There's Mick back there on the bicycle. Joni. Let's see, there's Bob. Look how dressed up he is out roughhousing.
One of the twins, isn't it?
That may have been Kathy.
And that was John and Bob and Mick and Kathy.
I think Betty's on her skateboard here in a minute.
She really looks slick. She was the epitome of the young teenager, the way to dress and do her hair and everything. It'll be coming up here in a minute.
Well, John pulls a cute stunt too
Oh,
here.
there's John on
Yeah,
the
this John
skateboard.
on the skateboard, but then Betty, I think, gives a real good demonstration here. No, there's Bob.
Oh, he is slick. There's the terror of the neighborhood. That was Mick.
There's John. Yeah, John puts on a real show here. Mr. Goofong, I think his name is.
Using a garbage can lid. There she is. Look at that fox.
I like the glasses.
And those slacks. That's really sharp. And that was Bob running after. I think that's a couple of the Ballinger girls
I
there,
believe
wasn't it?
so.
There's
The
our
two-
old Dodge Dart we used to
The
have.
two oldest, whoever they are. In fact, all three of them are standing there, I think.
And Betty could always whip John in basketball, too. Of course, that didn't take much. But look at that. Bam. She missed. I think you had a shot there in the background. We just missed a grandma taking out the trash. And here they are. They're little Bobby. Look at him. And watch Mother yell at him. She's saying, "Shut up, Bob. Straighten up." Si's saying, "Is this my kid?" Look at him acting real cool now. Look at him, see?
This
Look
is
at that. That's all.
probably the holiest day of his life. He made his first communion that morning.
I think-
Doesn't he look like a little saint?
I think they canceled Holy Communion after that. And look at this. Explain.
Well, this is your
Joe Birge
great grandpa Joseph Birge
on his 100th birthday.
at his 100th birthday party, and there's young Joe Birge, and they're like 3 generations apart,
And almost 100 years.
and I think it was like 96 and a half years apart. And there's Grandpa Birge, your Grandpa
Minnie
Birge,
Bellner in the background in that black dress, and Grandma Birge is back there.
and the man in the white shirt
There's
is
Posey.
yeah. That's well. Wait a minute. The man in the white shirt is Uncle Roy Birge. That's your Grandpa Birge's uncle, and his father is Joe, the guy having the birthday.
And notice there he was smoking away, and he's 100 years old, so it doesn't hurt to smoke.
He's smoking cigars. You don't inhale cigars. There's
There it
his
is.
cake. He had cards and letters that day from the president and from the governor of Kentucky and the mayor of Louisville, and It was a nice party. Okay, and this is the party afterwards at our house. There's Bob, Joe.
Oh, that's awful.
I don't know where Bob got those teeth.
What have they got in their mouth?
Fangs. And that thing Mick keeps putting in his mouth is a ring with a whistle on it that Marcia Yaki brought Mick.
Okay, that was Kathy, and there's Aunt Susan, and that was one of the twins a while ago, if you're wondering who that was in the front. We'll see them in just a minute. And this is, again, in 67, right before
Kathy with no teeth. Come on, Kathy, smile. There.
There's one of the twins.
I think
Marilyn.
Well,
You think that's Marlene?
I think it's
I
Marlene.
have no idea. I could never tell them apart until one of them married Alan and one of them married Doug. So now I know which is which because, you know, Marilyn married Doug. So when I see Doug, I know it's Marilyn. There's Grandpa Reynolds. There's a couple of foxy neighbors walking by. Grandpa Birge. We had them all here. There's one of the both twins. And look who's pregnant again.
Yeah.
And little did you know who you were about to bear birth to. Huh? That would be Marcia.
No comment.
Pregnant with child. Boy, it seems like with those 5 we would have learned our lesson and not had any more, you know. But then we wouldn't have had the last 2 sweet ones.
I still can't figure out which twin's which.
Okay, there's Susan. There's Marcia Yaki.
Yeah.
Boy, you look good there, though, even though you're knocked up.
Yeah.
What?
Don't do that.
Okay. There's Marcia. She looks pretty good. She's 65 now, so she was, what, 45 back in.
Yeah.
So that was a few years ago. And one thing about our family, when you turn on the camera, they're also shy. Brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, everything. Look at that and say.
He's the biggest ham of all. Let's see. I look right at her and I can't tell which twin.
I would say that's Marilyn. Look how graceful. But
Bunch
I don't know.
bunch
Can you
of
tell?
hillbillies.
Don't you remember which dress was which?
No.
Because they got different kind of dresses on. Who was that other one standing there next to her? Was that one of the twins?
That's a twin. Their hair was so short that they look like little boys. Nobody has any shoes on here. They all look like hillbillies. Okay,
a lot of this now, all of a sudden the kids got a hold of the camera and they did the shooting, so it's really shaky and bad and jerky. And look at this. You know, they are, maybe I shot this, I don't know, but they're having the race. You saw how Joe kind of waited for him and got the lead.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but here they are horsing around, and I think Mick is shooting this. You can tell his great photography right there.
He didn't show much future as a photographer.
But they're just horsing around. Look at all the energy. Can you see John and Bob doing that nowadays? This is on the front yard overlooking the field there in front of our house at 908 North Craig. Some real hams hamming it up here.
Slow motion. There's that stupid whistle.
That drove everybody crazy.
Cleveland, and we got this.
Here's
he wanted
my favorite.
the ballpark.
Here's my favorite.
Yeah, the whole lineup.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
5 guys in a tub.
Look at this. Now this is my favorite thing.
Now this goes way back, though. This is a much earlier. This has to be.
This is at 908 North Craig.
Yeah, but this is twins don't even look a year old. Yeah, watch everybody do this.
And watch the twins. This is precious. Now all the guys are doing it, and look at them. Look up. See, she leans over and sees what they're doing. Now watch her. And they remind. Look at that. They remind me so much of Katie and Carrie when they were that age. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now there we got a wide load sign on that. But
think Mick doesn't have a big mouth. Look at that.
Scrubbing them up. And boy, this might be the end of it. I don't know if we got any more of the kids. And
I think we decided to go someplace in a hurry, and I said the heck with it. They all need a bath, so we just piled you all. Bye.